Hello everyone, welcome to Camel's Art Workshop. My name is Himanshi and I am an acrylic artist. You can check out my work on my Instagram page @CreativeNest. Talking about today's workshop, we will be creating this beautiful sunset surf artwork. So let's get started with the material first. So today I will be using Camel Premium Sketchbook with 270 GSM, and along with that we will be using Camel Acrylic Markers which are available in 12 shades. Okay, let's get started. Here I have my Camel Premium Sketchbook. I will be using washi tape to mark a boundary area. I will be using blue color, okay, blue, sky blue, and shades of oranges and yellow, alright, and a bit of red and white to blend the colors, and as you can see, black for the darker areas. Okay, so these are the shades that we will be using. So here I am using a masking tape. So as you can see, it's an abstract artwork, so we don't need to be very perfect with the sketching part. Okay, we just need to draw some lines so that we get an idea where our waves would be placed. Okay, so as you can see over here in the artwork, we have a large wave like this over here, okay, starting from this corner and ending towards the bottom area. So we need a large wave which would start something from here, okay, and it would go like this towards the bottom area. And make sure that you make a horizon line like this, okay. This would be the horizon line separating the sky area from the sea, okay. And for the sun, you can use any circular object and draw a circle. This would mark our sun, okay. And as you can see here, there's some waves over here, so I'm just drawing it roughly like this, okay. This would be the larger wave and it would go something like this, okay. And now we need to draw this surfing man, okay. So this would be his boat, okay, and let's draw his body. For that, I'm just creating a small circle. So first I will start with the sky portion, okay. So I'm just erasing the pencil work a bit so that the strokes are not visible as much, okay. So here I'm using yellow color, as you can see. Also make sure that you keep a rough paper over here, so in case there's any other color attached to the nib, you can just wipe it, okay. Here what you have to do is just simply cover in the spaces, okay. So first I have made a clear boundary so that the color doesn't get in the sun area. As you can see, this whole area is completely white, alright. And now you have to just fill in the colors. To give such outlines first, alright, so that I have a clear understanding where I have to place my blues and where I have to place my oranges, okay. So as you can see, it's very random, so we will start with this corner. So you can see I'm making some oval shape and some triangle shapes, but it's a bit of curvy, okay. So you don't need to make direct shapes, just add some curve to it. Now I will be using red color to darken the areas, and I'm just adding strokes, random strokes, okay. I'm not filling in the colors, as you can see. And once you have added all the red color over here, now we will again move to the orange shade, okay. Adding few more strokes, and you can see that I am leaving some white space, okay. So this is intentionally I am leaving these spaces because I want to fill in yellow color, okay. And you can see that the lines are a bit curvy, okay. I am not adding very straight lines, so I will be using yellow color and just filling in the spaces that I have left, and I will blend both the colors, okay. So what you have to do is you have to just start from the sun area and you have to extend it till the end of the page, okay. And while you are doing so, you will see that this yellow color will take over the oranges and red. So you don't need to worry, we will be adding one more layer of orange, okay. And make sure that the strokes are in outward direction, okay. As the rays of the sun are like this, so the strokes would be also in the same direction, somewhat like this, okay. And as I have told you earlier that the yellow will cover most of the spaces, so we have to rework over here. So I will be adding more of red, mostly over the edges, okay. And while it's still wet, I will be using my orange color to just blend in. And for dark area, I will be using red, okay, mostly over the boundary area, okay. Mostly I will be using curved line, okay, there won't be any straight line, just to get that abstract effect, okay. And over the edges, again I will be using a bit of yellow to blend in. So for sky, I will be using sky blue, blue and a very small amount of black, okay. And this black would be over the edges, okay, very small amount, okay. Just we have created this, similarly we will be doing over here as well, okay. The directions would be somewhat like this, okay. While you are creating this artwork, just make sure that the directions of the stroke are exactly like how I am drawing, okay. Now I will be using sky blue color. So while you are working over this orange, make sure you draw a boundary line so that the colors don't get mixed with each other. So I am just first giving a boundary. And since these are acrylic markers, there are chances that it would work, it would cover up the before strokes that we have given. So what you have to do is, we will be redoing it again. So we will be repeating the same process again and again. So we will be using different shades and then we will be adding some random strokes, then a lighter shade will be used to fill in the white spaces, and like this we will be creating this artwork. So as you can see, I have covered up almost all the white space that it had. Now you can see that the blue strokes, the dark blue strokes that I have made before are not much visible. So what you have to do is, you have to again add another layer and you can cover up the white spaces if any of it is left, okay. And just blend it with the sky blue shade, okay. So I'm just taking the strokes from the top area and just extending it to the bottom. I'm just increasing the intensity over the edges, okay. So I'm using dark blue for that. Just taking a bit of orange and yellow and just adding few lines, okay. Similar, just some curving lines over here, okay, that we were adding before. And you can see that the lines are visible a lot. So what you have to do is, you have to blend it down with the yellow. You don't have to work a lot, the color will automatically get blended. See, while you are working, there are chances that other color would get on the nib. So use a rough paper and clean the nib area, okay. And for the reflection part, I will start by using yellow, and along with that, firstly I will be using red for this area, for the edges, okay, just to mark the edges. And here I am not making any sort of curvy lines, here I will be making straight lines, okay, since we are making the water, so we don't need to add a lot of curves. Just mix the yellow with the orange and the red part as well. Now it's time to make the waves, okay? And you can see that we have some random patches. So what you have to do is first you make those patches, because once you start coloring it would be very difficult to create these patches. And for the waves, firstly I am using black color, okay, over here. You can see the direction of the strokes, it's somewhat like this, alright. So this would be the direction of the strokes. Now what I will be doing is I will be blending the black with the blue color, dark blue color, and also I need to have that surf effect, the effect of the wave. So you can see that I have changed the direction somewhat to like this, okay. Okay, so since I have secured all my patches, now what I have to do is I have to just add some random lines and make sure that all these lines are in this direction, from top to bottom directions, okay. And the direction over here would be somewhat like this, alright. So once we have added the darker strokes, now it's turn to merge them with sky blue color. So these are random strokes, okay, just make sure the direction is correct. And here over the edge, make sure that you are using sky blue color only, okay. I won't be using the darker one. Over the edge, I will be using sky blue color, okay. Okay, so here I will be adding a small patch of sky blue, okay. So I need to add a stroke like this over here, just to add some more character, okay. And also I need to fill in this space, alright. So for this patches I will be using orange, yellow and red, okay. Just I am adding few lines. Okay, so while you are working with the acrylic markers, you don't need to use varnish, okay, because we are drawing it over a page and the varnish won't be able to be working on this page. If you are working over canvas, then varnish is required, okay. So if you need to protect the painting, what you have to do is you can just frame it, okay. No need to use varnish over these paintings, okay, which you are drawing in your sketchbooks. Let's get back to the waves. So what you have to do is I am adding another layer, and again I will be adding some dark blue color, okay. And make sure that you are not merging it with the patch that you have drawn. To make it a bit darker, so I'm just adding black color over the edges, okay. I'm not using it in between, and also over here. And you need to tone down this black color, okay. So for that you will be using your blue color to blend it, okay. You can see that there's a splash of color over here. So for making that splash of color, what you have to do is you have to just dip your nib like this, okay, to create these splashes over here. Somewhat sky blue over here. So here I am using white acrylic marker. See how beautifully the splash effect is coming, okay. So we need to continue this effect. And over here I am just smudging it with my hands, okay, to get that splash, okay. Just smudge it with your fingers, okay. as I've told you before, I have to make highlights over here. So for the highlights I will be using white color, okay, and I'm just drawing straight lines as you can see. And once you have made this white lines, you need yellow color, and make sure that the tip is clear, and you just need to blend the colors together, alright, and mix both the colors, okay. And now we will be making this man over here. Firstly, let's draw the surfing board. So we are done with the artwork as you can see, and the last step would be to remove the masking tape. And what you have to do is you need to tear it off outwards of the page, okay, in this direction, okay. And so this is our final artwork. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I will be very happy to see all your recreations. Do tag @CoQCamlin as well as @CreativeNest, okay, and see you in the next workshop. Bye bye.